Liam and Victor were no ordinary colleagues. They were close friends who had worked tirelessly together since their university days. Their years of relentless day and night efforts were finally bearing fruit. They had successfully developed a highly advanced AI, artificial intelligence security system, and were on the verge of signing a multi-million-dollar contract with a world-class tech giant. This success was the pinnacle of Liam's life. He was not only thriving in his career, but also considered himself the luckiest man alive in love. His girlfriend, Chloe, was the light of his life. Gentle and understanding, she was his safe haven whenever he felt exhausted. Liam had long dreamed of proposing to Chloe and building a beautiful family together as soon as the AI project was fully completed. Everything was perfect. These were the golden days of Liam's life, flawless in both his career and his relationship. However, Liam didn't know that fate was an entirely unpredictable thing. One night, Liam and Chloe had a romantic dinner to celebrate their success. While walking back from the restaurant, enjoying the cool evening breeze, they turned into a deserted, narrow alley. There, an unexpected danger was waiting for them. A motorcycle sped out of the darkness and screeched to a halt right in front of them. Two masked thugs hopped off and violently grabbed Chloe's handbag. "Hey, what are you doing? Let go!" Liam immediately stepped in front of Chloe to protect her. The thugs were ruthless. One punched Liam, the other shoved Chloe to the ground. Seeing Chloe fall to the dirt, Liam flew into rage and tackled the nearest thug, engaging in a fierce scuffle. With a sickening slice, a cold steel blade plunged deep into Liam's chest. Gah! The pain was sudden and agonizingly intense. Liam's eyes widened in shock as he crumpled to the ground. The two thugs snatched Chloe's bag, jumped back onto their motorcycle, and sped off into the night. "Liam! Liam! No! Please don't do this! Liam! Open your eyes!" Chloe's heartbroken screams echoed through the dark alley. She held Liam's blood-soaked body, trembling and sobbing uncontrollably. At that moment, Liam opened his eyes. He didn't feel any pain anymore, but the sight before him left him utterly speechless. Right in front of him lay his own lifeless, blood-covered body, and clinging to it, weeping as if her heart would shatter, was his beloved Chloe. "Chloe, I'm right here. I'm fine." He reached out to touch her shoulder, but his hand passed right through her, as if slicing through thin air. It hit him instantly. He was dead. His soul had not crossed over. He was trapped in the human realm. Watching helplessly as he was unable to hold and comfort the woman he loved, Liam's soul wept silently in agonizing despair. A few days passed. Liam's funeral was held in a somber and sorrowful atmosphere, yet his soul still couldn't move on to the light of the afterlife. He remained lingering in the mortal world. Most of all, he couldn't bear to leave Chloe's side. Watching her wash her face with tears day after day brought him unbearable pain. He desperately wanted to hold her tight and comfort her, but she couldn't hear his voice, nor could she feel his touch. The only thing Liam could do was sit beside his grieving Chloe and shed silent tears. One day, Liam's spirit wandered out of the house and aimlessly found its way to the office where he and Victor had always worked so tirelessly together. Inside the glass-walled office, his best friend Victor was alone. However, instead of mourning the loss of his friend, Victor was casually taking a drag from a cigarette, speaking in a low voice on the phone. "I only told you guys to snatch the girl's bag. When did I ever say anything about killing him? Damn it, you guys are too reckless. Now this whole thing has gotten way more complicated. Yeah, what's done is done. Now that Liam's dead, my plans are a bit derailed. But you know what? Our rival company is waiting to buy the patent on this AI security system for tens of millions of dollars. Isn't it better if I take it all for myself instead of splitting it two ways? The problem is, Liam never gave me the master password to the system. He always planned ahead, and without that password, the entire system locks down and becomes utterly useless." Anger erupted inside Liam like a raging volcano. The brutal mugging that had cost him his life was orchestrated by none other than his most trusted friend, the man he had loved like a brother. Victor had betrayed him out of sheer greed for money. Still on the phone, Victor continued in a cold, calculating tone. "I've thought about it carefully. I'm certain Liam linked that master password to a hidden application inside Chloe's phone. I'll go over to her place tonight, pretend to comfort her, and get my hands on that phone. If she hands it over peacefully, great. If not, or if she suspects something, I'll have to get rough. She'll just have to follow Liam to the grave." Victor smiled ruthlessly as he spoke. "Victor, you bastard!" Liam roared furiously and lunged to punch Victor, but his fists merely passed through thin air while Victor continued his phone call, completely oblivious. Liam panicked as reality set back in. He was a powerless spirit. "No, Chloe is in danger. I have to protect her." Being a spirit who couldn't touch physical objects or make a sound, Liam had no idea how to save the woman he loved. But knowing he had to get to her immediately, his soul flew out of the office in a frantic rush. Faster than the wind, Liam's soul raced back to Chloe's house. The moment he entered, I saw her sitting on the living room sofa like a broken doll, her tears streaming down her face. Her eyes were red and swollen as she clutched a photo of Liam, still sobbing softly. "Chloe, get up! There's no time! You have to get out of here right now!" Liam screamed at the top of his lungs and tried to shake her shoulders, but his hands simply phased right through her. Frustrated and desperate, Liam tried to grab and throw objects around the room to catch her attention. But as a newly formed spirit, his energy was far too weak. He couldn't even budge a small glass on the table. The afternoon slowly turned to dusk. The scumbag Victor would be arriving at Chloe's soon. At a total loss, Liam ran out onto the street. No living human could see him, and he couldn't ask anyone for help. Wandering around in a state of panic, he accidentally found himself in front of a small storefront at a street corner. A worn-out sign read, "Madame Clara, Fortune-Telling and Tarot Readings." Driven by a mix of sorrow and rage, Liam walked inside and saw a woman in her 50s with dyed pink hair and heavy makeup. This was Madame Clara. Clara was flipping tarot cards for a young female client sitting across from her, confidently lying to her face. "Your destiny is currently blocked. You'll need to pay a bit more money for a ritual to clear it." "A person's life is in danger right now, and you're here scamming people?" Liam exploded, channeling all his anguish and rage into a deafening roar. Surprisingly, Madame Clara flinched, her eyes widening in shock. "Hey, who's that? Who's shouting?" Clara jumped out of her chair, looking around in terror. The young female client, having heard nothing, stared at Clara in confusion and asked, "Madam, what's wrong?" Clara asked, "Didn't you just hear a man shouting?" The girl shook her head and hurriedly ran out of the shop in fear. Liam instantly realized something. This woman, she can hear me. Though Clara was a fake fortune teller, she came from a bloodline of spirit mediums, giving her a faint connection to the unseen spiritual realm. "You can hear me, can't you?" Liam asked, leaning closely into Clara's ear. "Oh my God! Yes, I hear you! Who are you? A ghost? Don't haunt me! My grandparents were famous mediums. I'll exorcise you!" Clara yelled, pointing a trembling finger into empty space, goosebumps covering her skin. Liam didn't waste his chance. Gathering all his angry energy, he made the candles in the room violently flare up, and an icy, bone-chilling wind swept through the shop. "You have to help me. If you don't, I'll kill you right here," Liam threatened. Terrified, Clara dropped to her knees. I'll help you. Just tell me what to do, my lord," she begged. Under Liam's fierce command, Madame Clara frantically grabbed her things and ran out, following Liam's directions. Madame Clara was panting heavily, sprinting as fast as she could along the path Liam guided her on. It was evening, and the streets were mostly empty. Liam's spirit floated right beside her, constantly urging, "Faster, please go faster, we're out of time."
Out of breath, Clara wheezed. "Look here, my lord. I'm running as fast as I can. I'm an old woman. If I die of exhaustion, who's gonna save your girlfriend?" Liam, too anxious to argue, just let out a heavy sigh. Approaching a street corner, Liam's mixture of anger and frustration boiled over, and he viciously kicked a nearby trash can. However, his leg just passed right through it. Nothing happened.
"Damn it, why can't I do anything?" Liam yelled in sheer frustration. "That's because you haven't let go of your mortal habits yet, young man." A deep, raspy voice suddenly spoke out. Liam turned around and saw an elderly spirit, around 70 years old, sitting on a bench beneath a roadside tree. The senior spirit looked at Liam and smiled. "Grandpa, what do I do? The girl I love is in terrible danger. I want to protect her, but I can't touch any physical objects." Liam rushed over and pleaded for help. The old spirit nodded. "We spirits can no longer use muscles to interact with things like humans do. All we have is spiritual energy. If you want to move an object, don't try to push it with your hands. You must focus on your strongest emotions. The deep love you have to protect your girl, or the burning rage you feel against injustice. Gather those intense feelings and project that energy toward the object you want to move." Liam understood immediately. He closed his eyes and visualized Chloe's smiling face. Then, thinking of Victor's treacherous plans, he amplified his rage to its absolute peak. He focused all his mind on a small pebble by the road, imagining himself throwing it. Whoosh! Clack! The pebble shot up into the air and struck a nearby streetlight. Liam was overjoyed. "Thank you, Grandpa," he quickly said before rushing to catch up with Madame Clara. Thanks to the elderly spirit's teaching, Liam finally knew how to wield his spiritual energy. Shortly after, Liam and Clara arrived in front of Chloe's house. Just then, they saw a sleek black luxury car pull up to the driveway. The man stepping out of the car was none other than Victor. Holding a black leather briefcase, Victor had plastered a fake, sorrowful expression on his face, playing the part of a grieving friend. Victor knocked on the door. It opened, revealing a tear-stained, frail-looking Chloe. "Victor, you're here," she said, looking to him for support. Victor wrapped an arm around her shoulder and guided her inside. Hidden outside, Madame Clara and Liam's spirit watched the scene unfold, knowing things were about to take a dark turn. Inside the house, Victor sat beside Chloe on the living room sofa. With a face full of faux grief, he let out a dramatic sigh. "Ah, Chloe, I still can't believe Liam is gone. He was like a brother to me." Wiping her tears, Chloe sobbed. "I know, Victor. Without him, it feels like my whole world has collapsed." Standing outside, Liam's soul trembled with fury watching this hypocritical monster. "Madame Clara, go in, knock on the door, right now," Liam ordered. Frightened but obedient, Clara rushed to the front door and began banging loudly. Bang! 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 Meanwhile, inside, Victor steered the conversation. "Chloe, Liam once mentioned he put a backup file for our project on your phone. The company is asking for it urgently. Could you lend me your phone for a bit? I'll give it right back." Chloe frowned. "Liam never told me that. I only have his photos and some music on my phone." Victor's expression instantly hardened. "You probably just didn't know. Give me the phone," he growled, aggressively trying to snatch the phone from Chloe's hand. "What are you doing? Give it back!" Just as Chloe struggled against him, the loud banging on the front door echoed again. Furious, Victor shoved the phone into his pocket and pulled a black handgun from his waistband. He aimed it straight at Chloe's head. "Shut up. Go see who's outside. Unless you give me that password, you're not leaving this house alive," he threatened viciously. Trembling in absolute terror, Chloe slowly walked to the door. The moment she opened it, Madame Clara forced her way inside. "Girl, beware of the man next to you," Clara yelled. "Who the hell are you? Get out!" Victor shouted, turning his gun on her. Madame Clara gasped in fear at the sight of the weapon, but seeing Liam's spirit standing right beside her, she gritted her teeth and stood her ground.
It was then that Liam unleashed his spiritual energy to its maximum, just as the old spirit had taught him, merging his fierce love for Chloe with his deep-seated hatred for Victor. He focused intensely on all the light bulbs in the room. Crack! Bang! Suddenly, every light bulb in the living room exploded simultaneously, sending shards of glass flying everywhere. The entire house was plunged into darkness, followed immediately by an icy wind that swirled through the room like a miniature cyclone. Panic-stricken, Victor screamed, "What's happening?" Liam didn't stop there. He channeled his energy into a large, heavy vase beside the sofa. The vase levitated into the air before shooting aggressively straight at Victor's head. Smash! The heavy vase struck Victor violently in the forehead. Screaming in pain, Victor dropped his gun. Seizing the opportunity, Chloe bolted toward the front door and hid behind Madame Clara. Clutching his bleeding forehead, Victor looked around in pure terror. Furniture, books, and glasses were flying uncontrollably through the air. Liam was using every ounce of his power to haunt and terrorize Victor. "Liam, is that you? Don't kill me! I'm sorry!" Realizing his friend's ghost was taking revenge, Victor lost his mind with fear and tried to sprint up the stairs. But blinded by terror, he misstepped and tumbled backwards down the steep staircase. Crash, thud, crack. Victor's body plunged headfirst onto the stone floor at the bottom of the stairs. His neck snapped, and he died instantly. What Liam witnessed next was chilling. As Victor's soul left his body, terrifying dark shadows emerged from a bottomless abyss, forcefully dragging Victor's screaming spirit down to hell. With the threat of Victor finally gone, the massive burden in Liam's heart lifted. At that moment, a warm, peaceful golden light descended into the room. Bathed in the light, Liam's spirit gradually materialized, becoming a visible apparition to human eyes. Looking away from Victor's lifeless body, Chloe suddenly caught sight of Liam standing in the radiant glow. "Liam!" Crying, yet smiling, she called out to him. Liam stepped closer to her and gently cupped her cheek. This time, Chloe could actually feel the warmth of his touch. "I will always love you, Chloe, in this life and the next. But it's time for me to go now. Please take care of yourself." Liam whispered his final goodbye. Then he turned to Madame Clara standing nearby and smiled. "Thank you, Madame. I will never forget your help." Then Liam's soul slowly ascended into the beautiful, warm light, fading away peacefully into eternity. Chloe stared at the empty space where Liam had vanished, tears still falling from her eyes. Yet deep within her heart, she felt completely warm and safe, forever embraced by Liam's boundless love.